And we are live.
Hello everyone, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to your grammar series by LeapScholar. So how are all of you doing today? Are you all excited to begin learning and revising your grammar? Please let me know in the chat box if you can hear me and if you are ready to begin our series and if you're excited to start revising grammar. All right, so for those of you who are new, I would like to inform you that my name is Deeksha Mehta and I'm an IELTS trainer here with LeapScholar, and I will be taking you through this journey of 5 days where we practice grammar. All right, hello Dilraj, hello Aditi. So we'll be learning the grammar that is necessary for your IELTS exam. So which is necessary for writing and speaking modules. I am doing well. Thank you so much, all of you, for asking me. I hope you're doing well as well. All right, Jaswinder, do check your email. So the registered email, we might have sent you a mail regarding this. All right, great. So I can see that a lot of people have joined us, and I think we can begin. Before I begin, however, how do all of you practice grammar? So I have a really good resource for you for your grammar practice. So as you all know that we've launched an app which is called IELTS Prep by LeapScholar. It's available on the Google Play Store, and it has practice tests for all four modules. Plus, it has some really good exercises for grammar as well. Along with that, it has a speaking discussion forum. So if you haven't downloaded it yet, go ahead and do it right now because it will help you join your classes in just one link. So whether you want to join your classes or masterclass, you can do that by just one link. It will straight away take you to your classes. The link to download it is in the comments box. All right, and without further ado, let's begin our grammar session and understand. So whenever you are practicing, with your friends, let's say if you're practicing speaking, what topics do you find difficult? What errors do you make? Do you know what grammar errors do you make? Great, Randeep. All right, sentence formation. All right, Manpreet. So yes, Arshdeep, that is true. All of us have learned basic English grammar at school, but the problem is that we've not, attended those grammar classes of late. So, for example, it's been a lot of time. It's been a long time since we attended those, and because of that reason, we have certain doubts, right? So, I'm here to solve those doubts. Okay, I can see a lot of students are saying tenses, complex sentence, connecting words, so linking words. All right, lovely. Verb forms, so conjugating the verbs. All right. Okay, Manpreet. Sentence making, Rakibul. Active, passive, and vocabulary. All right. Yes, in certain writing tasks, we do need to use the passive voice and vocabulary. All right, Muskan. So it's a very short topic, active and passive voice. I will try to cover that quickly today at the end in the last 2 minutes. Okay, Bhushan. Idioms. See, idioms are not grammar related. So can you tell me what grammar problems, prepositions, all right? Okay, Dilraj, passive voice. Phrasal verbs. Okay. All right. So Nikita, are you saying use of gerund as the noun? Okay. Modal verbs, phrasal verbs. All right. Okay. Use of gerund as the noun, vocabulary, conjunction. All right. Okay. So a good news for all of you. I predicted the topics that you would have a problem with. And these topics, I have tried to cover them in this week's grammar sessions. So this is going to be our schedule for this week's grammar sessions. As you can see, I have covered most of the topics that you face issues in. So a lot of you said tenses, so that's being covered on 20th. Then a lot of you said connecting words or linking words, both of contrast and otherwise, that as well. And subject verb agreement. All right. My name is Deeksha Tanya. All right. Conditional sentences. Okay, Manpreet. So I will try something. I will try and cover conditionals along with punctuation on 22nd May. So there you go, Manpreet. I have, accepted your request. I have agreed to um, help you with your topic as well. Saroj, we'll try and finish this in 15 minutes. Parts of speech, all right, Kiran, I think we can definitely try and put it in somewhere. So the thing is that we don't have a lot of free space. All right, okay. So Navdeep is getting anxious. He wants me to start. I'm doing well. So Sukhpreet, yes, usually we practice reading on Tuesdays, but today we won't be doing reading because today we are doing grammar. All right, Anonymous is here as well. Okay, Arshdeep, I will have to check. So let me. I have read all of your suggestions. I know a lot of people want phrasal verbs and gerunds. So let me see. After the session, I will try and fit them somewhere because these are small 50-minute sessions. I will try. So if the duration is not increasing, I'll definitely put that as well. I'll try and update this. Okay, so as I said, today we will be doing complex structures, but I can see that a lot of students are asking why, and they're asking what exactly is this, and people are saying, please start. All right, so a lot of questions about complex sentences, and then some people are leaving as well because they're not sure that we need to do this for IELTS. All right, so let me clarify this doubt and answer this question about why do we need to learn complex sentence structures for the IELTS exam. So these are your public version of the writing band descriptors, right? So these are released by the University of Cambridge, and they say that this is how we assess your writing tasks. And if you notice the speaking descriptors, they're also very similar. So here, under the grammatical range and accuracy portion, let's check what is included. So first of all, it says grammatical range and accuracy. So that means two things, range and accuracy. Now we already know what grammatical accuracy means, right? That your grammar should be accurate. There should be no mistakes. It should be flawless, right? No errors at all, whether it's tenses, whether it's punctuations, your subject verb agreement, entire grammar should be absolutely accurate, right? But what does the second part mean? Can someone tell me what is grammatical range? So I've heard about vocabulary range, but what does grammatical range mean? Showing the range of your grammar, what does that mean? So, any guesses? What is this grammatical range? I'm sure all of us have heard what vocabulary range means, but what exactly does grammatical range mean? Exactly, Manpreet. No. So Ritika says present past continuous. So tenses, range of tenses. No. Exactly, anonymous. Yes, Shivani. So taste, yes, without mistakes means that it should be accurate, right? That's the first part. Exactly. Different tenses, no, Manpreet. No, me too. Not usage of different tenses. All right, Ria. Variety of what, Herman? Exactly, anonymous. Mm, what about how far, Rajneesh? So what about grammar? No, Chaitali, not the tenses. No, Manpreet. Exactly, Banita. Exactly, Manpreet. Exactly. So a lot of you are saying, no, Mona, not vocabulary. See, vocabulary is covered under vocabulary. So why would vocabulary be covered under grammar range, right? Okay, great. So I can see that a lot of complexity. So we look at what complexity exactly. No, Kaval. So subject verb agreement is covered under accuracy, that your grammar should be correct. All right. So a lot of you have guessed it correctly. And why I asked you. So I knew that so many of you asked me. So many of you know. I didn't ask this to show you that so many don't know. I asked this so that we are aware that there are two parts, and there is this one part that we are not focusing on. The problem is we are just focusing on accuracy. We are just trying that my tenses are correct, my grammar is correct, there are no errors, the punctuation is right, capital words are correct, subject agrees with verb, all right. We're trying all of that, but we are not working on the second part. So let me tell you that even if your grammar is absolutely flawless, there are no errors, but you are not focusing on this range, you will be stuck on a band 6.5. So this is that one thing that is making that difference. This is that threshold where, which is dividing students between 6.5 and 7. Let's get more clarity. So you can see these are the band descriptors, and under band 6, even for band 6, it says uses a mix of simple and complex sentence forms, even for a band 6. Now, that is why a lot of us get a 6.5, because we do use some simple and complex sentences. Unknowingly, we form some complex sentences, which is a great thing. So imagine if we can unknowingly make some complex sentences, if we know what are the different structures and if we learn how to make them, it will be so easy for us to shift to a band 7 and above. And let's understand what is happening as we keep increasing the band. So what can you notice in band 7, 8 and 9? What is increasing? Can someone tell me what is increasing from band 7 to 8 and then to 9? What is happening? So what's happening in band 7? Definitely Manjot. Then band 8, then band 9. What is increasing? Exactly, Ritika. Absolutely correct. So here you can see under band 7, it says uses a variety of complex structures. All right. Then for band 8, it says uses a wide variety of structures. And for band 9, it says uses a wide range of structures, and these sentences have no errors. They are accurate. So your complex sentences are very beautifully made. There's very good accuracy, right? So yes, absolutely correct. All of you have noticed it. The range of structures is increasing, and the number of errors that you're making in forming these complex structures is decreasing. right? So use a wide range of structures and make no errors while doing so. Okay. So all of us here, today we are 400 of us present here. I want all of you to focus on this second part of grammar as well. And I want you to promise me that you will aim not for a band 7, you will aim for band 7 above. So I want all of you to promise me that we don't want a 6.5, we want 7 above. If you promise me, then write promise in the comment box. So let me see that all of us want a 7 and above in writing as well. Promise that you'll use complex sentence structures and you'll try to use a lot of variety. Great, excellent, Muskan. All right, Baljeet, lovely. Okay. And yes, it is not impossible to score a band 9. Manisha ma'am's student scored a band 8.5 in writing. So that was a record that he set. So we will also try that. Okay, let's move forward and now understand what exactly are these complex structures. So a lot of you promised me that you'll use them, but to use them, we need to understand what these are, right? So what exactly are complex sentences? To know this, we need to understand what are simple sentences. So let's understand simple sentences. Can someone tell me what is a simple sentence? All right, so tell me what is a simple sentence? All right, excellent. Great. So Shankar has given me an example. All right, perfect, Shankar. But all right, but what is a simple sentence? So how do you decide that a sentence is simple? What does it mean? There's only one subject? No. I can have three subjects and still have a simple sentence. In which we use simple words? No, that has more to do with vocabulary, Harpreet. With verb in the first form? No, not really. I can make a simple sentence using V2 and V3 form of the verb as well. With exactly, Kuldeep. Okay, but Kuldeep, I can make a sentence without any connector and it will still not be a simple sentence. And today I will teach you as well how to make a complex sentence without using a connector. I promise I'll teach you. Very interesting. Very good, Rahul. Exactly, Hita. Indefinite. Not sure what that means. So a sentence which is independent, all right. Arshdeep, not necessarily. I can have two subjects and two verbs and it would still be a simple sentence. So what is that one thing that a simple sentence depends on? Charmi, I can make a simple sentence without a connector. So no, it's not the one without no connector. No. A normal sentence. Okay, what does a normal sentence mean, Aina? When a sentence gives meaning without confusion, no. Sentence without conjunction mean too. I can make a simple sentence even, with a. No, I'm not sure. All right. Mandeep, exactly. So the last part is what we need to focus on. Okay, great, great. A lot of you are getting anxious. Let's, understand. A lot of you have given the correct answer. Yes, a lot of you were correct. The main reason that a simple sentence is called a simple sentence is because any sentence which has one complete thought, or as I may call it, idea, or as I may call it in grammar terms, clause. So one complete thought or one idea or one clause is your simple sentence. For example, Chepuri says, I play cricket. All right, so Chepuri has given me this sentence. He says, I play cricket. So yes, there is a subject, there is a verb, and there is an object. But more importantly, there's one complete idea, there's one thought, there's one clause that I play cricket. That's it. That's one idea, right? So any sentence which has one complete thought or idea is called a simple sentence. All right. For example, let's move forward. So an example is I teach English. It has one idea, right? One thought. Now, what happens if I have one idea here? I have one idea which says I teach English. All right. And I have one idea that my student gave me, which said I play cricket. So this is my one idea and this is my one idea, right? What happens if I add two ideas? How many ideas does that give me? More than one, right? That's more than one idea. Okay, so let's try. What happens if I join them? Can you join them for me? So that is one idea plus one idea. That means two ideas, right? Two clauses. Such an active voice has nothing to do with simple sentence. So for example, I can change this to the passive voice. I can say cricket is played and it would still be simple. All right, Manpreet. Okay, so let's say I join both these sentences. Okay, let me join them. And I'm adding them and I make a sentence called I teach English and I play cricket. All right. So now I have two ideas. So I have two ideas, and any sentence with more than one idea is either your complex sentence or a compound sentence. All right. So more than one idea means complex or compound sentence. Now, what is that difference between a compound and complex sentence? Let's try and understand that. All right. So let's go back. Here we had our one idea, I teach English. All right. And let's add one more idea to it. So I am adding one more idea that I teach IELTS. All right. So I add this to this sentence and my sentence becomes I am a teacher who specializes in teaching IELTS. So I've joined both these sentences. Now, why is this a complex sentence? What is the difference between complex and compound? Can anyone tell me? Any guesses? What is the difference between a complex and a compound sentence? Any guesses? Ashdeep, opposite. You're saying the opposite. Exactly, Muhammad. All right. Okay. All right, Neha, let's understand which sentence this is. All right, Manoj. So yes, let's try and understand what sentence this is. So now I have two clauses in this sentence. All right, I am a teacher who specializes in teaching IELTS. What happens if I separate these? If I remove the who, what happens? Let's say that I remove this. All right, now I have two thoughts again. So my first thought, I am a teacher. Is it a complete thought? Is it making sense? The first one? It's making sense, right? It's a complete clause. It's independent. It is completely making sense. But what about my second sentence? So my second clause says specializes in teaching IELTS. That doesn't sound right. That sounds incomplete. Right? So the second one doesn't sound complete. Why? Why does it sound incomplete? What is missing in the second one? What is missing in this sentence? Exactly, Raj. What is missing? Exactly. So yes, it is dependent. But what is missing in this sentence? There is no meaning. Why? Because there is no subject. Where is the subject? So who is specializing? Who specializes in teaching IELTS? Something is missing. I, right? But the I is not there. Why is the I not there? The subject, it was depending on the first clause for its subject. So it was borrowing the I from the first clause, right? Which is why this idea, the second idea, is called a dependent idea. All right. So in a complex sentence, there are two clauses. One is your main clause and the second clause is dependent clause. All right. Now let's understand what happens in a compound sentence. Let's take the same two sentences, the same two thoughts, and the same. I teach English and I like teaching IELTS. Same two sentences, let's take them now and try to make a compound sentence out of these. So I've changed it now. It says, I like teaching English, but I prefer teaching IELTS. So again, I've joined both these sentences and I've joined them in a different way. If you look at these two clauses now, let's pick these two clauses and write them again. So I like teaching English but I specialize in teaching IELTS, right? Now, if I remove the but from between, let's say I remove this. So I have my first clause again and I have the second clause. Now, can you tell me, are both my clauses making complete sense? So I like teaching English. Is it complete? Is it making sense? Is it correct? Yes, right? What about the second one now? I specialize in teaching IELTS. What about the second one? It is the same clause, but I've joined it differently. And because of that, it is making sense, right? It's making full sense. Because it is making complete sense, it's a complete sentence in itself. And that is why it is, both of them are independent. They don't need each other to make sense, right? They both don't need each other. So this is your compound sentence. Now, let's answer a few questions in the chat box. So the first question is, are complex sentences complicated, long, or high level, academic? What do you think? These sentences that I made, were they simple or difficult? These two sentences, were they easy or were they difficult? So they were easy, right? Even though they are called complex sentences, they are not actually complicated or difficult. They are easy to make. right? And do you need to use all complex sentences? So how many should you use? What do you think? Should you use all complex sentences in your writing tasks? Sometimes, Arshdeep. So no, you don't need to use all complex sentences. You just need to use a mix of simple and complex sentences. You need to make sure that you are using a wide range. So you don't need to use 10 complex sentences or all complex sentences. You just need to make sure that I'm using a few and I'm using a wide range. So what does this wide range of complex sentences now mean? It means that you need to form complex sentences in different ways. So not all your complex sentences should be formed by using who or by using but. So you need to use different things to form complex sentences. What are these different things? What are these 4 different things? I will tell you today. Before that, let's understand how to make your complex sentences. All right. So how to make complex sentences, especially when speaking. Let's say, for example, the examiner asks you that, he asks you, please describe yourself. All right. So when he says that, Deeksha, describe yourself, there are 4 thoughts that go through my mind. All right. I want to say my name is Deeksha. I'm from Delhi. I used to live in England and I am an IELTS trainer. But do you see that they are so repetitive, right? And all of them are simple sentences. And if I speak like this, it sounds off. It doesn't sound natural. We don't naturally speak like this. So can you help me? Can you help me convert this into a complex sentence? Can you please change this and form one single complex sentence structure using different, using a variety of words to join them. So please help me. Please make a complex sentence for me. And one more thing that you can do is you can change my name. You can write your own name. So in the comments box, let me see. Please join these 4 ideas. Yes, Manpreet. Okay, Manoj says remove I. Manoj, can you show me how? Can you do it for me? Okay, Manpreet, but after Punjab, I am not only. So it's not, joined properly. So a lot of you are using a lot of ands. You are using too many ands. So I can see that, the sentences are correct. But see, the range is not there. You are just using and. Okay, I can see that some of you have used 4 ands, 3 ands. All right, Kolip, Anil. Um, all right, Hita. Charanjit, no, it's not great. Naresh. All right, good, Naresh. It's still not correctly joined. All right, Rajdeep. Okay, Seema. All right, Rumana. All right, Sumandeep. All right. Okay. So we understood, right? Now we've understood how to make complex sentences, but we are joining them with and, right? And. So now we understand that when there are only two clauses, it's very easy to join them. But in the speaking exam, you would have 3 or 4 ideas, right? 3 or 4 thoughts running in your head. So then if you want to join them, it becomes difficult to continue using and, right, Rashish? All right. So instead of using and, let's see how I've joined these sentences. So here is my sentence. I say, my name is Deeksha and I'm from Delhi, but I used to live in England where I started teaching IELTS. Right? So what I've done is I used different things to join my sentence. A lot of your sentences were also correct. Yes, Ajay. So a lot of your sentences were also correct. Now we've understood, right, that when we have 4 ideas, it's difficult to join them. So we need to have variety when you're joining your structures. Let's learn how to join your structures. Let's look at one more example. So the examiner asks you, have you ever flown first class? Again, 4 to 5 thoughts run into my head. So quickly a thought pops up. No, I've never flown first class because it's very expensive. It is luxurious and I will be well rested if I ever fly first class. Can you join these 4 for me? All right, Varalakshmi. But see, Varalakshmi, although you used it, but it's not, your uh, sentence, I'm an IELTS trainer, is not contradicting the sentence. So although is not used correctly. Manpreet, no. Used belong, inland. I'm not sure what you want to say. Harpreet, I am Harpreet, lives in Delhi. No, Harpreet. So your subject is I, verb is not agreeing with it. No, Pavan, not correctly joined. All right, great, Ashdeep. All right, can you join these 4 thoughts for me? How would you answer this question? How would you join these 4 thoughts? All right, good, Harpreet. I think that's a good one. All right, Kanika. Okay, Karen, good. All right, so yes, a lot of you did answer it correctly. Here is how I've joined it. So I've said, although first class is luxurious, I agree that it's luxurious and results in a person being well rested. It is, however, very expensive, and that is why I prefer to fly economy, or that is why I've never flown first class. Right? So here what I've done is I've paraphrased. Instead of saying I've never flown first class, I said I prefer to fly economy. Right? All right, Kuljeet, that is also correct. Okay, great. Good job, guys. Some really good tries in the comment section. Very well done. Good. All right, Shankar. All right. So what are these 4 different ways with which we can join our complex sentences? Let's quickly understand what are those 4 different methods by which we can form our complex sentences. The first method is the one I used in the first sentence. So I am an IELTS trainer who, so using relative clauses. So what are relative pronouns? Relative pronouns are who, which, and that. And what do? They add extra information about a noun, about a person, place, or thing, right? So we can join 2 clauses by using relative clauses. For example, he is the kind of person who is always friendly. Or I can say about my students, I can say, They are the kind of students who are very intelligent, right? So here again, I've joined it with a who. Then the second relative pronoun, which, I can join them with which as well. For example, air pollution can cause health problems. Air pollution is largely caused by motor vehicles. So I join them with a which. Air pollution, which is mostly caused by motor vehicles, can cause health problems. And with that as well. So there is evidence that some people are more likely to smoke. These people have parents and friends who smoke. So there is evidence that people who have friends and parents that smoke are more likely to smoke. Right? So we can use relative clauses. That's the first method. Second method, let's look at the second method. So using conditional clauses. What are conditional clauses? Any guesses? So what are conditionals? All right, so we can use conditional clauses, which are also called your if clauses. So your zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, and your mixed conditional. For example, I will be really happy if I pass the IELTS test, right? Or for example, if the cost of organic food proves to be expensive for most people, they will simply not buy it, right? So one, an action which can happen only if a certain condition is met, right? Okay, so can you complete this sentence for me? For example, if I ask you, when will you be happy? Can you complete this? I will be happy if dash. Provided that, yes, Arshdeep. No, not instead of although, Manpreet. No, don't confuse it with although. So Mona, yes, can you complete this? Great. So Gunpreet says, I'll be happy if I go to Canada, if I get 9 bands or overall, or say that happens. So Uday, not if you score, if I score, right? All right, Shivam. If I get a visa, Ajay, get simple present. Again, Manminder scored no. So you need to be a little careful of the grammar. A lot of you are using, simple past. All right, Bashar. Okay, I have read the comment. All right. So I will be happy if, and then simple present, right? All right, Ravneet. I pray that happens. Okay, Atul. All right. So I pray that all of you who've written your conditionals today, your conditionals are, they get accomplished. All right. Okay. And if they get accomplished, if you get your band 9s and 8.5s, those of you who've written that, please come back to this video and let me know. All right. Okay. Third way. What is the third way of making complex, of joining your clauses? The third way is by connecting your clauses using words like after, as, because, while, until, even though, although, when, and if is already covered, right? So all of these, you're connecting words, right? Linking words. So for example, all your linking words, moreover, right? However. So for example, Alan went to the teacher's office because he wanted to find out the answer. So when you're giving more information to your main idea, And while the teacher was away, Alan entered her office, right? So all of your linking words which you can use to join two sentences, those work. And the fourth way is using a semicolon. So now, when can we use a semicolon? What is the rule for using a semicolon? Can somebody tell me? When can we use semicolon? When do we use semicolon? So when do we use a semicolon? Can someone tell me the difference? What is the difference between a semicolon and a comma? What is the difference? To avoid full stop? No. All right. Great, Lakshmi. Yes, Shravan, that is correct. So Shravan says, and a lot of you also are saying, that when both the clauses are independent, all right, so that's our first requirement. What else? What is the second requirement? So when our two clauses are independent, we can use a full stop also. Then what is the difference between a full stop? So, okay, the difference between a comma and a semicolon is that your clauses have to be independent. But then what is the difference between a semicolon and a full stop? Why can't I use a full stop here? Why not? No, Harshit, the second statement is not dependent on the first one. It's both are independent. For joining ideas, obviously, yes. So Gunpreet, every assessment criteria has equal weightage. So you might score good in grammar, but then if you don't use good vocabulary, you will score less in vocabulary, right? Exactly, Akshay. So when the two sentences are related, there's some relation, they are connected. Connected in the sense that the subject, the topic that they're talking about is the same, right? The topic is same. They're both talking about the same topic. They are related. And most of the times they are talking about the subject is the same. So for example, in this one, what is the subject? IELTS, right? And in the second clause, it is also talking about the same subject. So yes, we are using an it, but here the it is referring to IELTS, right? Okay, so let's look at one more example of a sentence with a semicolon. Let's look at an example of a semicolon. All right, for example, I can say, I want to attend Deeksha's session, semicolon. It is the only session sorry, or it is the only place where I understand grammar, right? So both these sentences are complete, right? They are independent and they're also interrelated. They're talking about the same thing, right? Can you try and make a few examples, make a few sentences with your semicolons? No, Suman. School is a very good play. What does that mean? That's not correct. All right, Manpreet, that is correct. All right. Definitely correct, Vinay. Yes, today that's correct. So yes, full stop breaks your sentence, right? Definitely, Aman, that's correct. So Aman says Amit is a student, he works very hard. That's absolutely correct. So yes, from now onwards, try and use a semicolon in your writing as well. Another very easy place to insert a semicolon is when you are using the connector however. For example, whenever you're using however, you can use a semicolon. For example, I can say, I want to uh, shift to Spain, semicolon, however, comma, it is very difficult. Right? So a good way to use a semicolon is with your howevers. All right? So do try to use semicolons in your writing tasks. All right, moving forward, where else can you use, how do you form compound sentences? Moving forward to compound sentences. Now, compound sentences, as I explained earlier, are basically two independent clauses, right? Apart from that, there's one more thing which is important, which is that they are joined by a conjunction such as for, and, neither nor, but, either or, yet and so. And these conjunctions can also be called or shortened to the acronym fanboys. So remember the acronym fanboys and it will help you understand the difference between complex sentence and compound sentence. For example, I like tea, but I prefer coffee. I really want to study, but I'm too tired. She got to the test center early and she did really well on her IELTS test. Let's look at one more example. So, make a sentence using these fanboys. Let me see a sentence. Manpreet, all right, thank you. But both you are using however. So you need to use a contradicting clause. So for example, you can say, I can say Manpreet is so sweet. However, and a contradicting clause. So something which is opposite, right? Something which is opposite this. Arshdeep, that's correct. No, Gurpreet, you are saying the opposite. So Gurpreet is saying when we use a semicolon in speaking, what pause do we give? So when you are reading, let's say, and there's a semicolon in between, you will give a shorter pause as compared to a full stop. So yes, the pause will be longer than your comma, but shorter than your full stop. All right, Venkat, that is correct. So can you make a compound sentence for me? Great. So Shankar says, I like chocolates, but I prefer cookies. All right. Okay, let's try and form one with the word for. So for example, I can say, I okay, everyone should join LeapScholar for scoring for, let's see, for scoring a band 9, right? Notwithstanding, didn't read. All right, great, good, Penny. Okay, love. All right, Arshdeep, that's good. No, I mean the sentence is good. Okay, Manvinder, I do dance. No, I dance for enjoyment. All right, Harmanpreet. Okay, now one more important thing to remember is that we don't usually use conjunctions to start sentences when we are writing, but you can start your sentences with them when you're speaking. For example, don't start any sentence with but or and or. So with any of these, don't start your sentence. All right, don't start your sentence when you're writing with but. Okay, make sure it's in the middle of your sentence. Okay, so for example, don't write I like tea, full stop, but I prefer. Don't do that. Don't start your sentence with a conjunction when you're writing. All right, so for example, with because as well. Okay, moving forward, let's review what we've learned so far. All right, let's review. So, what was the first thing? A simple sentence. What was a simple sentence? Any sentence with one clause or one idea, right? For example, we play football. What was a compound sentence? No, Manpreet, don't use conjunctions at the beginning. Yes, definitely, Rajti. Okay, what is a compound sentence? Let's revise. So a sentence which has two clauses, more than two clauses, and is joined by fanboys, right? For example, we play football and then play rugby, right? So it's joined by and. Okay, what is a complex sentence? Exactly, Shreya. What is a complex sentence? Correct, Rajinder. Yes, Manpreet. Yes, Manoj. So your complex sentences, we play, you have two clauses and you join them using four methods. So that could be a semicolon, your conditional clause, relative clause, and linking words. Right? So we play football when we are not busy at school. Right? And what is a complex compound sentence? What is a complex compound sentence? Exactly, Prashish. So which has, now this always has more than two clauses, right? Three clauses, right? And joined by both fanboys and any of the four methods. For example, we play football if it's sunny, and sometimes we play tennis. So it has an if clause and it is using a fanboy as well. So can you please make a complex compound sentence for me before we take the quiz? So we have a quiz next. Before we take the quiz, please form a complex compound sentence. Let me see that you are able to form these as well. No, Shelly, that's not correct. All right, Sandhu, but that's just a compound sentence. Check, that is a complex sentence. So try to make a compound complex sentence. All right, very good sentence, Lovepreet. The only error is don't write basically. Don't write basically. Put a full stop. All right, Arshdeep, I will cover that when I take a class on punctuations. No, Manpreet, that's not correct. No, Manpreet, you can't use although and but in the same sentence. No, Ravneet, it's not correct. Good, Manish, that's correct. All right, let's take a small quiz. Let's take a small quiz. So let's try and fill in these blanks to make complex sentences. Sabri, that's not making sense. Yes, Karthik, that is correct. Good, Prashis. All right, great. So yes, the first answer is correct. All right, good, Rakibul. Yes, that is a complex. That is a compound complex sentence. Good, Arshdeep. Second is correct. All right, Anoop. See, yes, Anoop. Yes, you've joined your clauses, but they're not making a lot of sense. Good, Ajay. That's a good one. Yes, that is good. No, Krishna. Second is not correct. Although cannot come because it's not a contradicting statement. Why? Because when it's cold, we wear warm clothes, right? What is the contradiction? It is not a contradicting statement. Chiranjeet, second isn't correct. All right, Anu, please stop spamming. All right, let's check the answers. So let's check the answers. The first one, if I pass the IELTS test, I will be really happy. You can also put when here. Dash, the weather was cold, I wore a warm coat. Now you can say, a lot of options are there. You can either say when, you can say as, you can say since, right? Yeah, that's all that I can think of. Then the dog barked loudly. You can say and or you can say as. Again, you have a lot of options. All right. Then um, and she ran all around the room while, you can say while, her owner tried to relax with his newspaper. Or you can also say but, right? A lot of options can be possible here. The trekkers did not think they'd make it to the destination because it was so far away and they were exhausted from the long journey. Or you can also say as here or since, right? There are a lot of correct options. I was tired, dash, I went to the shop. So you can say I was tired, but I went to the shop. Or you can say I was tired when I went to the shop. Or I was tired because I went to the shop. All right. The second one, you can just say although. Although I was tired, I went to the shop. I walked to work. You can say while it was raining or because it was raining, as it was raining. Nowadays, as we travel long distances or since we travel long distances or because we travel long distances. Or a more accurate thing would be when we travel long distances. All right, this sentence is complex, dash, the first one was simple. What do you think? So here, there are only two options possible. You can only use whereas and while. All right. You could try extending your points with the relative clause. That is your hint. So what do you think? What comes in the last one? So the last one is going to be which will make your sentences longer, which is a relative pronoun, right? All right, so that is all from my side for today's session. I shall see you tomorrow where we will practice subject-verb agreement at the same time at 12 p.m. If you liked the video, please click on the like button, and you can also subscribe to our channel so that you can receive updates about when we take live classes. All right. So I put in a lot of effort in making the video. Please do not forget to like it, and I shall see you tomorrow at the same time at 12 p.m. Thank you so much, all of you, for constantly engaging with me, telling me your doubts, interacting with me, and I will try to cover as many topics as possible in this week's grammar series. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.